Okay.
The guest brought in a set of 2 paintings, created by Willie Daniels, a second-generation Florida highwayman painter, and a significant figure within this group.
Out with just a handful of artists that were trained by an artist named Bacchus. The first generation of artists, they were about 26 artists.
These original oil paintings depict gnarled oak trees, showcasing Daniel's signature style that borders on the surreal. He skillfully uses bold colors, strong brushstrokes, and incorporates folklore elements into his work. Though these paintings are undated, they were likely produced in the mid-1980s.
Matter of fact, Daniels was elected into the Florida
Okay.
The paintings are mounted in their original frames and have been well preserved, maintaining their excellent condition. Florida highwayman painters gained increased recognition when their works were featured by Michelle Obama, which significantly enhanced their value. At auction today, this pair of oil paintings would be valued at
$2,000 and $4,000.
Really? I had no idea.
Yes.
Okay.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Jason Crow.
This renowned family portrait of the guest's mother was painted by a Boston artist, Adelaide Chase, when she was just 4 years old. The portrait has been a family heirloom, passed down through generations, along with other portraits by the same artist. Adelaide Chase was a prominent society painter in the early 20th century, Boston. Born in 1868 into a highly artistic family, she was surrounded by art and music from an early age. Her father, J. Foxcroft Cole, was a painter, and her mother, a pianist. Chase was even rumored to have posed for Winslow Homer as a child, after training with notable Boston painters like Frank Benson and Edmund Tarbell. Chase furthered her education in Paris before returning to Boston. The guest's mother was one of many Bostonians who had their portraits painted by Chase. The portrait is a beautiful example of the Boston school style, with its subtle palette and impressionist approach. Chase masterfully captured textures in clothing, objects, and flesh, making her portraits highly desirable. The guest revealed that she still has the doll featured in the portrait, keeping the family connection alive.
You have the doll.
You do? It's still in the family?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
The carved frame was made by Walfrid Thulin, a prominent Boston frame maker who worked with artists like Herman Dudley Murphy and Charles Prendergast. Although the guest insists she would never sell the portrait of her mother, she's stunned to learn that for insurance purposes it should be valued at.
I'd insure it for $32,000.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Jason Crow.
Wow. That's fantastic.
A guest brings in a striking poster she bought for just $37, originally hanging in the men's department of a Florida department store where she worked as a visual manager. The piece is a 1939 poster design by Leslie Reagan, an Iowa-born artist famous for his works with the New York Central Railroad and for creating war posters during World War II. This particular poster is a vivid celebration of the natural and man-made beauty of North America. It is advertising travel across the US, Canada, and Mexico to visit the 2 World Fairs of 1939 held in New York and San Francisco. A unique feature of this poster is a German museum stamp indicating it was distributed internationally. While most copies have English text at the bottom, this version is printed in German, a rare detail that adds to the poster's story but doesn't impact its value. With its rich history and vibrant imagery, the estimated poster's auction value is at
$7,000 and $10,000.
Wow. That's fantastic.
I would never sell it anyway.
Well, good.
This guest's husband purchased the display decks as a commemorative gift when their daughter was born. The desk is an English piece from the late 18th century, during the George III period. George III was the King of Great Britain and Ireland from 1760 to 1820. The desk is made of mahogany and is known as a tambour front desk.
It's not an architect's desk. An architect's desk would be much larger and there would be no tambour. It would just be completely flat so you could roll out large sheets of architectural drawings.
Upon opening the front of the desk, a ratchet reading stand is revealed. there are some condition issues with this piece of furniture, including the associated pierced fretwork corner brackets. Additionally, the legs originally had brass caps or casters, which have since been removed. Despite these condition issues, this piece of furniture would still be valued at
$3,500 or $4,000.
Well, I would never sell it anyway.
Well, good.
Many years ago, while vacationing in Guanajuato, Mexico, this guest purchased this showcased item at a consignment store. The item is a cocktail shaker, bearing the maker's mark on the inside. It was made around 1937 by the Derby Silver Company. What makes this piece particularly appealing is its striking shape, characteristic of the Art Deco movement. The shaker features a sleek, streamlined design, further enhanced by its silver-plated finish. Also, the design adds a touch of sophistication with its shiny, polished appearance. Remarkably, this cocktail shaker remains in pristine condition. Given its current state and the quality of its silver plating, this piece would sell for
$800 to $1,200 at auction.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I think people think it's pretty fun.
Well, I'm going to keep it. I'm not. It's a great conversation.
What we have here is a pottery figure that has been passed down in the guest's family for generations.
Part of our family for a lot of years, and people always made fun of it because it was so ugly, and we would rub its belly for good luck and take it to bingo games for luck.
At first glance, the item resembles a piece by the English Martin brothers. However, upon examining the base, we can see the mark of its actual maker, Sarreguemines. Sarreguemines is one of the largest pottery manufacturers in France. An interesting feature of this sculpture is its lizard-like form. This piece dates back to the late 1880s and to the 1890s. There is a visible drill hole on this sculpture, which could affect its value. At auction, this Sarreguemines sculpture would be worth an estimated
At $2,000 to $3,000.
Wow.
Easily.
I would have never imagined that. That is fantastic.
On today's show, we're showcasing a rare Scotland £5 note signed by the guest's golfing legend. The golfing great being referred to is none other than the legendary Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus is a legendary American professional golfer, widely regarded as one of the greatest golfers of all time. Evidence of his signature on the bill is captured in this photo of him signing it alongside our guest.
To get an autograph, so I know that's the note he's signing.
This note was specially issued to commemorate Jack Nicklaus's retirement in 2005. The note's value is significantly enhanced by Jack Nicklaus's signature.
Raining, so we went in and had a talk, and I was able to ask him the question of how he managed to get on the Scottish pound, being an American.
Today, Nicklaus is still involved in the golf world, designing courses and participating in charity events. The auction value of this incredible sports collectible is estimated to be
About $300 to $500.
Really?
Absolutely.
That's like a hole-in-one.
You blew me away. $75,000?
Yes.
I don't believe it.
Two paintings with diverse origins and heritage are showcased today. The guest brought these two pieces at a farm auction for a remarkably low price.
They were in a box, two together, and I bid on them. And I started the bidding at $1, and somebody bid 3 or 4. And anyway, I wound up getting them for $5.
This piece, positioned at the top, is a recent work by Spencer, created in the latter part of the 20th century. With its timeless appeals and being made by Spencer, its estimated worth would be
$100 to $200 on that if you were to find it in an antique shop.
The second artwork, on the other hand, is a creation of the celebrated Victor Higgins. Victor Higgins was an American painter and printmaker, best known for his landscapes and portraits of Native Americans, particularly those of the Tal Pueblo in New Mexico. Higgins' work is characterized by its sensitivity, warmth, and attention to detail.
Style started out in a more impressionistic manner, but by the time this was painted, he became a little bit more of a modernist.
This outstanding oil on masonite painting is in superb overall condition, needing only a gentle cleaning, and its value would be estimated at
$75,000.
Ooh, you blew me away. $75,000?
Yes.
I don't believe it.
Presented on the show today is a gorgeous and unconventionally designed desk. It was acquired by the guest from an online vendor in 2002 who claimed it was a piece by the famous Vladimir Kagan. Vladimir Kagan was a renowned American furniture designer, known for his modern and minimalist aesthetic. He's recognized for pushing the boundaries of traditional shapes.
But it doesn't look like any partner's desk that's ever been built before. He's taken a traditional form, which is usually a big, solid rectangle chunk, and he's reimagined it.
Kagan studied architecture at Columbia University and later apprenticed with the famous designer Raymond Loewy. In the 1940s, he began designing furniture, and his work quickly gained popularity for its sleek, curved lines and emphasis on comfort and functionality.
He's done this double boomerang shape that has this beautiful, graceful curve.
This piece is a masterpiece of modern design, showcasing innovative engineering as a paragon of modern furniture design and engineering in outstanding condition, and with its impressive provenance, its value would be estimated at
$8,000 and $12,000 in the condition that it's in right now.
Oh, man.
If it was restored, I think it could probably bring $20,000 to $30,000.
What?
It could take about $6,000 to have it restored, and if it's done properly, it'll be worth a lot more.
Well, thank you very much.
A collection of early 20th century documents illuminates the role of midwives in Marksville, Louisiana. This archive includes detailed birth records and official correspondence related to midwifery. It includes a note documenting the birth of twins to Percy Dupuy and Belua Burnett in 1935. The Bureau of Vital Statistics mimeograph details midwifery instructions and bureaucratic challenges.
Saying you should make sure you indicate the sex of the baby, right? It causes a lot of confusion if you don't put the name and you don't put the sex of the baby.
This collection belonged to the guest's grandmother, a midwife born in 1875, who passed away in 1973. She worked for the Averyells Parish Health Unit, with records detailing her professional and personal work. Within the archive, a strongbox holds letters, insurance policies, and notes that depict life in early 20th century Marksville. An estimated auction value of this historical and personal archive is between
I would put an auction value on it of $1,500 to $2,500.
That's amazing. That's actually amazing.
A collection of 12 design drawings from a Detroit auction showcases early 20th century automotive innovation. Labeled as new body designs for 1933, these artworks are attributed to Alexis de Sachnowsky. He was a prominent industrial designer for the Budd Company, renowned for his automotive body panel designs. Sachnowsky, a Russian immigrant, was celebrated for his sleek and modern designs, including the renowned 1929 Cord L29. His portfolio features a mix of gouache, colored pencil, and pen and ink. These mediums showcase his forward-thinking approach to automotive design. Each drawing in the collection is a testament to the Jazz Age aesthetic and the streamlined style that defined the era. Originally purchased for $250, the complete portfolio is now valued between
$4,000 to $5,000 for the portfolio.
Beautiful one.
A striking ebony carving captivated the guest's attention at a local auction in Detroit.
It's not a fake.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Okay, this is a contemporary piece of African art made by the McCundy.
Though unfamiliar with African art, the guest was drawn to its intricate craftsmanship and placed a winning bid of $125. This impressive piece, carved by the Makonde people of Tanzania, features a tree of life design. It is crafted from ebony wood, which reveals darker core wood in its center, surrounded by lighter wood. This contemporary carving, likely crafted after 1950, exemplifies the mastery and finesse of its artist. Revealing the intricate artistry, the dense ebony wood is skillfully handled. Despite minor cracks, the carving is in excellent condition and stands out for its detailed work. This large sculpture, approximately 50 inches tall, is valued between
This is $1,000 to $1,500.
Wonderful. Wow.
Would you smile?
I guess.
A magnificent beaded bag, gifted about 15 years ago, carries a rich legacy of Dakota artistry.
Beaded up in there, and there were two real important families. One was Claymore, and the other was Nellie Gates.
Attributed to the Claymore family from the Standing Rock area, the piece hails from the golden age of pictorial beadwork. This period of artistic brilliance spans from 1890 to 1910, Featuring intricate beadwork with vivid depictions of eagles and flags, this bag showcases the artistry of its era. It also includes a distinctive beaded rainbow element and floral patterns, highlighting the exceptional craftsmanship. Its origins trace back to the guest's great-grandmother, who was known for her beadwork. Though it shows some condition issues at the top that need professional attention, its artistic value is extraordinary. This beaded treasure is valued at auction or in a high-end gallery between
$40,000 to $60,000 at auction or at a good gallery.
Wow.
Would you smile?
I guess.
A bronze sculpture by Malvina Hoffman, dated 1928, was bought for under $4 at a thrift store 10 years ago. Malvina Hoffman was renowned for her exceptional career and significant contributions to art. Malvina Hoffman trained under the guidance of Auguste Rodin in Paris. This was due to recommendations by the prominent sculptor Gutzon Borglum. Her career highlights include a prestigious commission from the Field Museum in Chicago. This opportunity allowed her to travel extensively and create 104 sculptures, documenting global cultures.
Mine was probably one of the largest commissions ever for a man or a woman.
The sculpture in question is a beautiful example of her craftsmanship in pristine condition. It holds an estimated auction value between
$2,000 and $3,000.
That's nice.
A gilt bronze Tiffany desk accessory, gifted in the 1940s, exudes historical elegance. Tiffany Studios, established by the illustrious Louis Comfort Tiffany, was celebrated for its opulent designs and craftsmanship.
He was the son of the famous silversmith Charles Tiffany, who started the big shop in New York.
This piece is a striking part of a grand desk set. It stands out with its intricate pattern and sparkling glass stones that resemble cabochon sapphires and emeralds. Originally part of a larger collection that included up to 15 complementary items, such as blotter ends and stamp boxes, this hinged box was given to the mother-in-law by a prominent Connecticut family. Its beauty and historical significance would command a place of honor at auction. A dazzling example of Tiffany's legendary artistry, it is estimated to fetch between
$1,000 $1,500.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
In the 1950s, a striking Savage Navy revolver featured exquisite two-piece wooden grips. It was acquired by the guest for around $50, crafted in Middletown, Connecticut, between 1861 and 1865. This piece is a testament to history. Its design and craftsmanship reflect a significant era in American firearm artistry. This barrel still retains a significant amount of its original bluing. With its refined craftsmanship and storied past, the revolver has earned a place of distinction. Its historical significance and craftsmanship make it a standout example of mid-19th century firearms. This vintage Navy revolver is valued at approximately
in the $2,500 to $3,000 range.
A remarkable early 1990s Carile Indian School memorabilia collection was passed down through the family. The collection originates from Savannah Beck, who graduated from the Carile Indian School. This school, founded in 1879, was the first off-reservation boarding school for Native American children. Savannah's practical nursing diploma anchors the collection, solidifying its strong historical provenance. Among the items is an extraordinary photograph, including a 1903 Carlisle football team photo featuring legendary coach Pop Warner and Art Sheldon, known for the hidden bull trick. One of America's greatest athletes who attended Carlisle, the second photo features Jim Thorpe. This photo of Thorpe is made even more remarkable by his 1912 autograph to Savannah Beck on the back.
Incredible. It's a photograph at an early stage of his career, autographed by him. This is something you just never, ever see.
These two photographs, due to their rarity and historical significance, could fetch between
$15,000 to $25,000 at least. And I think I'm being quite conservative when I do that.
During World War II, a pilot who later became a grandfather flew supplies over the Himalayas as part of the Hump mission. After their left engine failed, he and his crew, including journalist Eric Severeid, parachuted into the Himalayas. They endured a perilous journey, aided by local headhunters, walking 145 miles to safety due to the absence of helicopters. Among the items connected to this extraordinary story are a Naga headdress and a traditional Naga headhunter's sword. Worn by a warrior, the headdress shows clear signs of age and use, reflecting its historical significance. Similarly well used, the sword hints at its storied past. Significant historical context and documentation enhance the value of these pieces as compared to the normal ones. As a result, the combined collection is estimated to be worth between
$2,000 to $3,000.
Really?
A family heirloom, passed down for 50 years, was brought forward for evaluation. A Highboy features a bonnet top, carved fans, mahogany veneer, finials, cabriole legs, and small pad feet. These design elements suggest it may be from Boston, Salem, Massachusetts, around 1760. However, the slightly compressed bonnet, wider proportions, and presence of rosettes raised authenticity concerns. In the 18th century, Boston craftsmen typically created more vertical pieces with simpler angular bonnet finishes. Additionally, the carved fan details lacked the refined articulation seen in genuine 18th century work. An uncommon detail for the typically plain Queen Anne period, the base featured carved acanthus leaves. Round head nails were used instead of the expected rosehead nails, and the drawers had been stained to appear older.
So this piece was probably made to deceive. Probably made in the 1920s.
Its estimate value at auction is between
$1,500 to $2,500.
Okay.
And that's an auction price.
Guests brought in a chest of drawers, which they had purchased in 1953 for $150. It was noted that the piece was crafted in Kentucky, showcasing characteristics typical of the region's furniture. Known for its decorative inlays and finely crafted details, Kentucky pieces reflect the rich cultural heritage and woodworking traditions of the region. A small vine and berry decoration along the lower stiles and base was highlighted, adding to its charm. The light and dark contrasting banding across the base, which added a distinctive touch, was also mentioned. Attention was drawn to the beautifully shaped skirt, another feature common to Kentucky furniture. The chest was made of cherry wood, with tulip poplar used as the secondary wood inside, enhancing its overall craftsmanship. However, the piece had an unusual locking system, now unfortunately broken off. Beautiful dovetails on the inside were also pointed out, a testament to the quality of the piece. The original brasses were still intact, alongside half-moon motifs and a diamond motif in the center, all adding to its value. The appraiser estimated the value of the piece to be around
$4,000 to about maybe $6,000, sort of as a range.
Great. That's good.
That's a pretty good increase on your money.
This album highlights the grandeur of Lotha Castle during its heyday, once a magnificent palace full of orange trees and grand suites. The album was composed by the Earl of Lonsdale, Hugh, who was unexpectedly thrust into wealth after.
His brother was, however, his brother died suddenly. His brother had been groomed with the responsibility of being the Earl of Lonsdale.
Hugh, not originally meant to be the Earl, had no formal training for the responsibilities that came with the title. The album documents the Victorian era, showcasing the extraordinary life of the Lonsdale family at the height of their wealth. Hugh was a man of great presence, known for his friendship with the German Kaiser and his love for the colour yellow, inspired by the family's racing colours. The album contains images and memorabilia that bring to life the lavish lifestyle of the Earl and the opulence of Lotha Castle. Unfortunately, the castle faced structural issues and was partially dismantled in 1952, but efforts are ongoing to preserve what remains. The appraiser praised the album for vividly capturing the essence of the Earl and the castle's glorious past.
I can see clearly the reasons why it is in its present state, so thanks very much.
No problem at all, thank you.
The guest acquired the painting made by Ivan Alinsky at an auction for $50. Ivan was born in Russia, later moved to America, and was recognized for his American Impressionist style. Paintings had survived an earthquake near San Francisco. Numerous inscriptions on the painting were noted. Originally gifted by the artist to Mrs. Gray, the painting was dedicated to her friendship and health in 1915. Blending American and European Impressionism, the artwork showcased Alinsky's artistic versatility. Artwork depicted a beautiful scene of the Plaza San Marco. The painting featured the characteristic broken brushstrokes of the Impressionist style. Believed to be framed originally in Venice, the painting retained its authentic charm. The back of the painting bore the Gray property insignias. The scene of Venice was noted to be a consistently popular subject in art. Importance of such patronage in the art world was emphasized, and the appraiser estimated that the painting's auction value was around
$4,000 and $6,000.
That's nice.
The guest's aunt gave her these 2 comic books 10 years ago. The aunt inherited them from her husband after he passed away.
So these comic books were sitting in his bookcase. So my aunt gave these to me. She knows I like to collect junk.
These 2 comic books are classic examples of Golden Age comics dating back to the 1930s and 1940s. Interestingly, the titles of these books are among the most iconic: Superman and Action Comics.
Superman made his first appearance in Action Comics, Action #1, and then later Superman started in his own book with also issue #1.
Additionally, the value of these books is further enhanced by the exceptional quality of their pages and covers. However, there is a small spine split on the American Comics 31. There's also a dust shadow on the Superman comic, indicating that another book was once placed on top of it. Given that these are Golden Age comic books and they are in mint condition, they are estimated to be worth
$7,500 to $12,000 for an auction estimate.
My aunt's still alive, and she's going to be so surprised when she hears this.
Sometimes the most cherished family heirlooms come with unexpected histories. A guest has brought in a clock from his great-uncle's collection, chosen as a memento after. It is a Beehive Clock, named for its distinctive shape. However, what truly makes it special is the skep glass, a nod to the man-made beehives of old. This particular clock was crafted by the New Haven Clock Company, which operated from 1853 to 1946 and dates back to around 1870. The clock features a mahogany case and remnants of its original label inside the door, although it is missing its original alarm mechanism, a feature that would have made quite a racket when it went off. The appraiser reassures that this isn't a problem. The alarm parts are easily replaceable and don't significantly impact the clock's value. One of the more charming aspects of this clock is its unexpected tenant, a mouse that once lived inside. The tiny inhabitant managed to come and go without leaving visible traces on the clock's exterior, making this little quirk more of an endearing story than a detriment. Despite being mass-produced, the appraiser admires the clock for its excellent condition and beautiful skep glass. In a retail setting, this clock could fetch
around $600.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
A stunning assemblage of Puic pottery is on display today. Puic pottery is a style of ceramic art that originated in the United States, specifically in Detroit, Michigan, in the early 20th century. It is known for its distinctive handcrafted pieces that often feature naturalistic and organic designs. Puic pottery was founded in 1903 by Mary Chase Perry Stratton, who developed a unique glazing technique that created a range of colors, from deep blues and greens to rich earth tones. The pottery quickly gained popularity for its beautiful handmade pieces that were both functional and decorative. Within the collection is a rare and enchanting tile featuring Alice in Wonderland, created in the 1920s and estimated to fetch
maybe a $1,500 to $2,000 tile. You still did well with that one.
Another highlight of the collection is this breathtaking iridescent vase, crafted between 1912 and 1917 and estimated to fetch
between $10,000 and $15,000.
Oh my!
Concluding the collection is this remarkable uranium orange piece, crafted pre-1910, a rare and highly valuable example of her early work, valued at
$25,000 to $35,000 at auction. It's not my first time around the racetrack. I've seen a lot of this stuff. This is the best piece of Puic I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
Today's highlight is a breathtaking watercolor work of art. The guest obtained this lovely work of art from Hallmark Canadian Company, where he was employed at the time.
And about when was that you would have purchased it?
1961.
And do you remember what you paid?
I paid $300.
In the lower right corner, the painting bears the signature of its creator, the legendary Walter J. Phillips. Walter J. Phillips was a Canadian artist and printmaker, best known for his landscapes and scenes of the Canadian wilderness. He is considered one of the most important Canadian artists of the early 20th century. Phillips was born in England, but immigrated to Canada. He studied art in England and later in Canada. where he became a prominent figure in the Canadian art scene. After 1946, his focus shifted to watercolor depictions of mountains, which became his exclusive subject matter.
These are the Three Sisters. It's mountains in Alberta.
This piece holds a special place in Canada's artistic heritage, with an estimated auction value of
$12,000 to $18,000.
Oh, wow. How wonderful. Isn't that nice? Nice appreciation.
Our guest's parents purchased this painting in an antique store in Scotland in the 1950s. In the bottom right corner of the painting, we can see the names Walter Hunt and L. Magill. Hunt was a British artist known primarily for his genre scenes and animal paintings,
etc. And he's known for this very soft focus, the very fuzzy thing, and all the different textures.
He was particularly adept at capturing the expressions and movements of animals, especially in dogs, in a realistic and detailed manner. This particular painting is a copy of Hunt's original work created by L. Magill, though not much is known about this artist.
Hunt did an original much like this.
Oh, okay.
And then this person, McGill, painted the copy.
The painting depicts a barnyard scene featuring calves, roosters, chickens, and a dog in a feed box. It was created between 1900 and 1925 and is a large oil-on-canvas piece. Although this painting is a copy of Hunt's work, it is still valuable and it's estimated to be worth
$8,000 to $12,000 at auction.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Unfortunately, I wish it were the original Hunt. If it were the original Hunt, you'd be talking about $50,000 to $70,000.
Right.
In Latin America, samplers have long reflected regional identity, embodying a rich blend of indigenous and colonial influences. Today, on the show, we have a Latin America sampler that came through the guest's wife's grandmother, who inherited it from her own grandmother. This piece originates from Central or South America and is dated 1858. It features exquisite embroidery, crafted with the same level of fineness you would find in a high-quality American sampler. Also visible are crosses, sacred hearts, and other Christian symbols, reflecting the influence of Catholicism. This piece was embroidered on silk and remains in excellent condition. Samplers like this are very collectible, and, in this condition, even more so. Given the fantastic detailing of the embroidery and its Latin America origin, this sampler would be worth
$2,000.
Very good.
In this exclusive episode, a breathtaking piece by the legendary artist Snaffles goes under the hammer. Snaffles was the pen name of Charlie Johnson Payne, a British artist known for his humorous and detailed watercolor paintings of horses, hunting scenes, and military subjects. This exceptional piece has been put up for auction by its current owners, Three Sisters.
Got the champagne ready. Right, here we go, it's going under the hammer now.
I've got a lot of bids here. I'm straight in here at £200 is big.
As bidding commences, expectations are running high.
300, 320, 350, 380, 400, 420, 450, at 450, 480, 500.
The bidding accelerates, swiftly surpassing the lower end of the estimated range. Momentum remains strong, propelling the price past the high end of the estimate. With anticipation and excitement, the seller awaits the final result. Eventually, the bidding ceased at a wonderfully unexpected price of.
Go out and enjoy yourself. Thank you. And take care. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Showcased on the show is a collection of photographs that were discovered by the guest in an old home belonging to her friend. These photographs were taken by the prominent photographer, J. Belloc. Belloc was an American professional photographer who worked in New Orleans during the 20th century. These photographs capture women in the Storyville district of New Orleans. Interestingly, the Storyville district was known for being a place where prostitutes paraded.
Here, for example, is the entryway to the House of Prostitution, and it's really quite marvelous in terms of the range of female beauty that introduces the gentleman.
In these photographs, many women are showcased in their beautiful dresses. This collection of photographs has been well preserved over the years, which significantly adds to its value. Each of these photographs by E. J. Belloc would be worth
$2,000 to $4,000 range for just each print ad. So thank you for bringing them in.
On today's segment of the show, we'll be discussing a number of rare items presented by various guests. First, a guest showcased a scrimshaw whale tooth featuring intricate engravings. The art of scrimshaw involves engraving the tooth and then rubbing pigment onto the carved lines to make the design stand out. If this piece were to come up at an auction, we can only wonder how much it would be worth. Another item exhibited was a cavalry officer's sword, which bears the maker's stamp on the blade and has a continental hilt. We are left to speculate on how much this piece might fetch at auction. Additionally, the show presented a pair of Victorian gold rings, both with interesting embossing. Given their gold quality, this pair would likely be worth a considerable sum at auction. Lastly, we have a glass bowl created by René Lalique. Lalique was a French jeweler, medalist, and glass designer known for his creations in glass art, perfume bottles, and more. One can only imagine how much this piece by Lalique might be valued at auction.
Tens of thousands of pounds.
Featured today is an exclusive set of 1984 Olympic posters, individually signed by the talented artists behind each design.
That's right, so you have the presentation box with the 15 posters inside. In fact, it was a run of 750, not 500.
At the time, these artists were the most prominent and influential names in contemporary art. In a fortunate coincidence, a customer brought this portfolio to the guest's coin shop, seeking to trade it for coins, and the guest, a seasoned collector, was happy to oblige. A groundbreaking aspect of these posters is that they mark the first instance of the Olympic Games being represented by a diverse group of artists, rather than a single lead designer.
They really chose some of the great names.
As a general rule, the complete collection tends to command a higher value than the total of its individual components sold separately. Notwithstanding the general principle, this portfolio stands out as a notable exception. It's a rare occurrence where the sum of the individual parts exceeds the value of the entire collection.
These 6 posters really represent the greatest artists from the group. At auction, they would sell alone for between $5,000 and $7,000.
Including the additional 9 posters that complete the portfolio. The aggregate auction estimate is projected to be
$7,000 to $10,000, which is almost twice what the portfolio as a single unit sells for.
Wow.
This textile has been a familiar sight in the guest's family home for generations. It originally hung in her grandfather's house, a well-travelled man born in the late 1800s. The piece is a Mariano Fortune textile, a beautiful example of Renaissance and Ottoman design revival popular at the end of the 19th century. The design features tulips and exotically shaped leaves, a hallmark of Fortuny's work. Fortuny, known for his intricate stenciled cotton textiles, had galleries in Italy and New York, where this piece may have been acquired. The textile's narrow width suggests it was made in the 1920s, adding to its value and rarity. Despite some inconsistencies in the printing quality, a characteristic of handmade textiles, this piece is conservatively valued at
$2,500, and it could well be worth, wow.
However, in a recent auction, the price of the item increased to $5,000. This wooden figure had a mysterious backstory. Her mother-in-law, a Kentucky native, purchased it during a trip through the hills and hollers of Kentucky. The guest inherited the carving after her mother-in-law passed away, knowing little about its origin or value. The artist, Edgar Tolson, is a self-taught carver from Appalachia, Kentucky. Although the figure isn't signed, Tolson's distinctive style makes his work easily recognizable. Tolson, who was born in the early 20th century and passed away in 1984, led a life as a coal miner, farmer, chairmaker, and Baptist minister before turning to carving. He left preaching, feeling he couldn't live up to God's standards, but his religious background heavily influenced his art. The carving depicts Adam in the Garden of Eden, complete with a snake, a reoccurring theme in Tolson's work. The simplicity and lack of embellishment in the figure enhance its elegance and power. Discovered in the 1960s during the rise of artist guilds in Appalachia, Tolson's work gained recognition, eventually leading to demonstrations at the Smithsonian. Despite a minor flaw, which is a missing piece of metal for the snake's tongue, the figure remains highly valuable. The guest, expecting the figure to be worth around $250, is stunned to learn that its current market value is
$2,000 to $3,000.
You are kidding me.
No.
Okay.
And it's a very sophisticated market for his material.
Seriously?
Yeah, and intuitively you knew to bring it today.
showcased on the show today is a metal sculpture that the guest has owned for about 25 years. He purchased it from a friend who had an art gallery in Birmingham, Michigan. This intriguing piece was created in 1965 by Harry Bertoia. Bertoia was an Italian-born American artist, sound art sculptor, and modern furniture designer.
Italian-born, studied in this country, studied in Michigan, probably pretty close to where it was purchased from. He was there in the late 30s and 40s at the Cranbrook School.
The sculpture is made of stainless steel and is called the spray. When touched, the spray exhibits a captivating sense of movement. It is an unusually large piece. Bertoia's sculptures often vary greatly in size, with some versions of the spray standing only a few inches tall.
Probably one of the largest of this form that was made.
Is that right?
So they don't come up very often. Certainly the smaller ones are more prevalent at auction.
A sculpture like this, by Bertoia, if offered at auction, would be highly valued.
Closer to 100,000.
Is that right? I guess I'll have to call the agent.